We launched MrBeast Burger a couple days ago, so we felt that this is probably a good time to discuss this. If you're new here, this is Creator Economics. Blake and I discuss everything creator related in this industry, and MrBeast Burger was a very hot topic over the weekend. So this couldn't come at a better time, but we felt like let's answer a few questions. I want to talk a little bit about Beast Burger, and yeah, Blake and I might riff a little bit.
One, congrats, and two, like if people are watching this who don't maybe know who you are, I think it'd be good to just give context, because I think you are the one person who's super qualified to be discussing this, other than maybe MrBeast himself.
Yeah, I took the first pitch on MrBeast Burger. So I am Jimmy's manager. I met Jimmy in 2018, January of 2018. Can't even remember how many subscribers he had at that time. I want to say it was close to 2 million. And we've been on quite the wild ride for the past 2.5 years. 2 days ago, we announced Beast Burger, something that him and I and our president, Ezra Cooperstein, have been working on for a long time.
How long? Like, has it actually been in the works?
I want to say it's close to a year. When I originally took the pitch, it's probably over a year, because we passed the first time we got the pitch. Because when I say we partnered with Earl Enterprises and a company that they have called Virtual Dining Concepts. They pitched us I'm doing something a little different in the physical restaurant space. And although we thought it was really cool and unique, we ended up passing. And then they came back a couple months later and pitched a new virtual dining concept. And this was the first time I'd ever heard of anything. So it got pretty crazy.
Was the plan always, obviously during COVID, to go only and carry out makes probably even more sense than ever before. But yeah. Was there a plan at any point where it was like, hey, let's like open up physical stores as well?
No, we never wanted to open up any physical stores, although now with the success, I think we will. The reason, and also I want to address this as well. So we don't have any ghost kitchens. And I know I've seen a lot of articles, a lot of people on Twitter talking about this, saying, oh, MrBeast launched ghost kitchens. No, we actually don't have any ghost kitchens. We did this and decided to do this so we could partner with independent restaurants. We could partner with restaurants struggling during COVID, and we could give them more business. And that's why we did this. A lot of restaurants are struggling right now. The last thing we wanted to do is launch ghost kitchens. And for people that don't know what ghost kitchens are, it's basically a standalone kitchen, not a sit-down restaurant. It's just a kitchen. And then they basically utilize delivery services to come and just pick up that food. There's no dine in. And that was a concept that, although is cool, for us, like we wanted to actually go to the independent restaurants that already have a brick and mortar place, and we wanted to partner with them to utilize their kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, and from my understanding, right, it's like restaurants that, are local or already exist. And then you're going and saying like, hey, you're going to get orders from us and we're going to give you supplies and all of that stuff and packaging. And you're going to basically act as, hey, we're going to help fulfill these orders. I'm sure there's some type of revenue share and whatnot with all of these in the end of it all. But yeah, it's a fascinating concept.
Yeah. And we decided to go platform agnostic. So if people search MrBeast Burger, it's on Postmates, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. So if you look on any of those four, you'll find it if it's in your area. If not, obviously it's not going to pop up. And then we launched a standalone app called MrBeast Burger. And the thing with the app is the radius of delivery is actually much larger than if you go to Grubhub or Uber Eats. So say that, Uber Eats is just 3 miles. The radius of delivery for the app that people are using is actually about 8 to 9 miles.
How many restaurants did you actually roll out with in the beginning? Like, how much work went into that? I mean, that's just crazy. And did you guys like pick at a map and you're like, here are going to be this the spots that we start with, or how did you think about all of that side of it?
Yeah, so we actually looked at Jimmy's YouTube channel and we picked out the top cities based on watch time. I think it was like Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Dallas. Like we picked the biggest cities in terms of watch time where these large concentrations of his audience were. And that's how we originally started. And then Virtual Dining Concepts did a great job of like going out and partnering with existing restaurants in those specific areas. We started with 300 locations. Hopefully, we're going to continue to scale that month over month now going into 2021. The hardest part though, and there's like two things, right? One is quality control. At 300 locations becomes very difficult. We've been trying to perfect this with all these different restaurants. And the second one, actually one that we didn't even think about, is delivery drivers. So we actually ran out of delivery drivers multiple times during the first opening day, because we were getting thousands of orders into one single restaurant and we couldn't find enough people to like pick these orders up and deliver them. And so people were getting their orders like 2 and 3 hours late because of that fact. And that's something that we just didn't even cross my mind when we were trying to build this out.
How did you guys even just decide on burgers? And like, did you guys do like taste tests for all the menu items? Like, what went into all of that? Because I feel like there has to be some story there.
Yeah, not a ton that went into like what we were specifically going to sell. I know Jimmy and I wanted to do something that was really simple. We didn't want to get into the weeds on like making a good burrito or doing sushi, which adds a lot of complexity. We wanted to make a simple product that other restaurants could easily make if they had the ingredients. And so we ultimately decided on a burger. So my picture on Instagram too is Chandler and I. We flew out to Los Angeles. It's like right after COVID. Chandler and I went out to Los Angeles and taste tested burgers and fries and chicken sandwiches. Chandler was the final decision in a lot of what you see on the menu.
If you've been on the internet at all over the past few days, it feels like it's really broken the internet. I've gotten so many pings just purely off of like us just doing a podcast together, and people are like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like you've been paying attention to this. I can only imagine what your inbox looks like. How do you just think about this as the ripple effect? Do you think this is a fad? Do you think this is the next Wahlburgers? Like how do you just think about where all of this is heading?
I don't think it's a fad. I think we're going to see multiple creators push into virtual dining. It's obviously not for everyone. It's not like creator apparel and merchandise where the barrier to entry is really low and there's a lot of companies in the market that you can partner with and push out products. So that is the difficult part, is the barrier to entry with launching 300 virtual restaurants is very high. There's not a lot of companies that just operationally can put that together. And so for that very reason, I don't think a lot of creators are going to be able to do this, but there is a few larger creators that we've spoken with that I'm sure will launch something in the coming months. And I encourage them to do so. For us specifically, and for Jimmy, it was just, something that we really wanted to do to help out restaurants. I think a lot of restaurants are struggling right now. It also like took social media and Twitter by storm. I'm actually shocked that nobody saw that we registered the MrBeast Burger trademark 4 months ago when people were digging for other influencer trademarks. So I don't know how we kept it under wraps for as long as we did, especially think about all the restaurants we were talking to and teaching them how to make these burgers, and nobody said anything. So nobody caught word of this. That was something Jimmy and I were really proud of. Like when we launched it, when the video came out, and we filmed that video a couple months ago. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Jimmy has a video that's not currently #1 trending on YouTube that's called "I Opened the World's First Free Restaurant." And so we filmed this in a city close to his hometown in North Carolina. And we basically opened up a restaurant. We had thousands of people come to the drive-thrus and we gave away free burgers all day. And even then, when we filmed this video, no one really caught on to, okay, this is part of something much bigger than just a single video. And so it was a lot of pillars that we had to build over the course of the whole year. Is like, okay, what's the video? How do we launch a video? And then on the back of that, launch 300 virtual kitchens and make sure all those kitchens know how to cook the burgers, make sure the app experience is easy enough where people can go on and order a burger. So a lot of complexities, but I mean, this all kind of came into our decision when we were trying to launch this thing.
I think what's crazy is, from the outside looking in, Jimmy is only posted one video about this, and then he's posted a couple times on social, and it seemingly has broken the internet. You've referred to it as like it's done really well so far, but like, are you able to share any numbers at all?
Yeah, I happy to. So we're closing in on 1 million downloads on the app right now. So for those of you that downloaded it, thank you very much. Like we totally appreciate everyone that's downloaded it to this point. It's on iOS, it's on Android. So we're closing in on 1 million downloads right now. We've had a lot of volume in terms of orders. We actually ran out of food at a lot of the locations. Let's see if Jimmy lets me put out numbers of how this did. But I think, him and I would say this was a success. And now we just have to like improve on the quality, improve on the drops. Like we just need to figure out how this is like an actual sustainable restaurant and not just like this cool fad that happened and then died off in a week.
What's so interesting of just when I've talked with both you and Jimmy is just like the aspirations to have this actually be, a sustainable business that people are really, ordering food from, not just for the pure gimmick of they actually enjoy it and they want to keep coming back to it. I can only imagine the fun marketing tactics and things that you guys will be able to roll out over time. Just having Jimmy and his whole team around it, I think is just going to be fascinating to watch.
We have like a whole marketing calendar in place of what we want this to look like for 2021. We may push some new products through MrBeast Burger's distribution network. We'll see. We have big plans for this. We don't want to obviously talk about all those plans yet. Hopefully you and I film an episode down the line and we can kind of get into what the bigger vision for this whole thing was, but this is a really good start.
It's just such an interesting example of something that you and I have talked about a ton on this podcast, of just like, if you have just mass distribution in a really engaged community, like Jimmy does, like what can you build for it? And asking the question of, I have 50 million people that watch my videos and they're all really engaged and love my content and what I do for the community, like what can I build? And I think this is a really interesting first step that no one else has taken. Jimmy and you continue to sort of push the envelope of like where this is all going, and I'm excited to just see what other stuff you guys move into.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of calls and texts from different creators in the industry, and like the one thing I'll say is like, I hope everyone that saw this, at least the larger creators that saw this, just realize the power that they have. If anything, like Jimmy and I want to inspire other creators to push the boundary of what can be accomplished in this industry. I honestly don't even think the creator community is rounded first base yet. Like, people don't even understand how big and the types of things that we can do and the types of businesses we can create, right? And that's the thing that excites Jimmy and I and other creators in this market. And hopefully we inspire creators to think differently because of this. So yeah, I've spoken with a lot of creators. Thanks to everyone for all the support. It's been a fun couple of days.
It's amazing to see all these things come to life. I know how hard all of you have been working on it, and yeah, I mean, congrats on just getting all this out. And I'm pumped to see it have so much success so far.